Hey guys, it's time for full moon in Virgo read. So we're going to start out with collective sign of Aquarius. All right, so if you like the channel, absolutely like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload another video. I'll be finishing the twin flame reads later on today. There had been a pause in it because my youngest son had emergency surgery. He's doing well. I mean, it was touch and go. We didn't think he would make it, but he came out of the surgery beautiful. It was perfect. It was very divinely protected. He was very divinely protected. Anyway, so full moon. Oh, I can't even talk. Full moon, full moon in Virgo, and the moon will be moving from Virgo into Libra. Now you'll feel the energy of full moon throughout the rest of this week. Full moon was yesterday, I believe. Yes. And like I said, you probably were feeling it a few days before, and you're going to feel it for several days after, depending on how sensitive you are. So, and there's like this excitement in the air, like you feel like an anticipation. So let's get into your energy, Aquarius, and let's pray. Great Creator, Father God, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, I just pray and ask for wisdom, protection, and clarity, and for any messages needing to come through for the collective sign of Aquarius for their full moon and Virgo read. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm going to start out with Moonology deck, go with Moonology manifestations, and finish off with the Crow Tarot. There will not be an extended to this read. I am wanting to add additional types of readings to the channel with extended. I believe that's it, but keep an eye out for the rest of the twin flame reads. Those do have extendeds to them. One more shuffle. I feel like that's the energy I'm picking up with Aquarius, like something's been decided. Like you've decided something. And it may not be a big decision to you, but other people are going to think it's a big decision. It's just something that the decision. Like that's what I'm doing when I get quiet. I'm listening. Like you've decided something. The decision you made, though, life-changing, life-altering. One more shuffle. And the energy of the full moon in Virgo is very, Virgos are, I wouldn't say structure, but it's more of a, I make a decision, I stick with it. This is what I want. This is what I'm doing. Nobody's going to stop me. And then it's plans, like how the decision and how the path opening up, how to navigate it. Like Virgos are very, have to see where I'm going, have to figure this out. And they can be impulsive, I'm not saying that, but just at the heart of Virgos is that, because there's always misconception too with Sagittarians, where Sagittarians don't like commitment, where they're all over the place, and it's not that. So I'm just giving it this generalization because that's the energy I'm picking up with the full moon is plans setting to place, making decisions, like clarity, and just being grounded in the clarity. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This is what I see. Because it's precise details. The details come from the grounding aspect of the earth sign, Virgo. So one card off the top, one card off the bottom. Don't let your past hold you back. One off the bottom. Balance spirituality and practicality. This is about, what is that? It's like praying, meditating, but at the same time, you have dishes to do and laundry. You still have little details to take care of. So let's go to the Moonology Manifestation deck. Two, if you felt like it's one of those things here that if you've made this decision before and you tried it before, and this could be business, it could be connections, could be relationships, could be family relationships, work. But if you felt like, because I feel like the decision that you're making and the path that you're going down, you've already tried to do it. It may not have been the right timing. You've grown since then, you know a little bit more. That's the reason when it comes to new experiences, if it fails the first time, then it's either teaching you you have more to learn, you were meant to be there to learn something about it, or sit down, figure out where it went wrong, try it again. It's that energy of going back to something that it's like a revisit of it. So the decision made here, you've made the same decision in the past, and now there's this worry about it. So I feel like that. The enemy to worry, though, is hope. And I'm rocking now because it's an anxiety rocking. And I don't do that. I haven't done that for a long, long time. Like wanting to get the ball going, wanting to get the ball rolling. Let's get this going. Let's get this going. Let's do this now. Let's do this now. Like there's an anticipation and an impatience with it. Like I have to do this now. I have to do this now. I have to do this now. If you're overly aware of a door that's been opened, every door that's meant for you, when you pass through that door, it's divine timing for you. So it doesn't, you may have this, because I feel like that's an over awareness of timing. Like it has to be now. It has to be now. I have to do this now. So if you feel like that, where there's this anticipation with this decision that you've made, it could be starting a new business. It could be reconnecting with someone. It could be family. Like if it resonates with you, you'll know where it fits, but there's like this wanting to, yeah, that's what I'm getting too. Like I'm getting this image of bobbing and weaving. Like you're in a boxing ring, not a boxing ring, but what are those courses called? Like survival course? Like I have to get to the end of this course, but I have to dodge this, and I got to do this, and I got to take a step this way, take a step that way, because I've already plotted out. That's the Virgo energy. Like I've already plotted out and planned. And so you can't plan every single detail. You just look for, like you can plan out what you can, and then you rely on spiritual sight to see what you can't see. But at the same time, I feel like you had this epiphany. I keep hearing epiphany, but this higher sight of what to do and how to do it. Like I have to do it this way. I have to dodge this one. I have to go this way. And I just keep hearing that phrase, dodging the bullet. Like if you had stayed too long in a situation where you were at, could have been one of those things of it could have gotten much worse than it ever has been. And if this is a person, oh God, now I'm picking up possessiveness. Like the person's very possessive. Like you have to do this, you have to be this, you have to wear this, you have to talk like this, you have to think like this, you have to be like this, and this molded, structured energy here of you can't be yourself. So the decision that you're making is, and it's really choosing to love yourself when you get out of situations like that, it is. And when you choose to love yourself in these situations and you pull yourself out of it, and I feel like I feel like the universe rewards you for that by showering you with more of this sight to love your wounds, to heal your wounds, to love on yourself, to and you get guidance to go through it, like where you're heading, where you should be heading. I didn't expect to channel, but I've been wanting to channel on my channel here. Wanted to do channeled messages. I just feel like you're anticipating this kickback, so you're dodging that, and you're anticipating that comment, so you're gonna sideswipe this, and you're coming up with scenarios in your head to bypass it. That's what Virgos do. They see through every decision. Like before they make a decision, they think through it in the long term. And then whatever situation arises, like they think through, okay, if this happens, then I'll do this. If this happens, I'll do this. Like it's one of those things. That's the energy with this full moon. It's very clear-headed, planning ahead, getting rid of obstacles, bypassing situations. I don't even want to get into that. I don't want to get into that argument, so I'm not going to talk about that. But choosing self and being self-aware at the same time, self-awareness of love and choosing self first, but it's not choosing self first. See, that's the thing. I want to clear that up too, because mothers, as a mother, that was the biggest lesson I had. And I have to put that out there for some reason. When you choose to love yourself with the self-love, self-care routine, you cannot pour out of an empty cup. And a dear friend of mine who is a mother of a disabled child told me that when I first found out that my youngest son was facing lifelong disability. She said, you have to take care of yourself because you're going to burn yourself out if you don't. And she said, you have to come up with something to where you take care of yourself, you nurture yourself, you're always choosing to set time apart for yourself. So it's not that as a mother or as a son, as a daughter, sibling, anything, that you're not choosing them. You're choosing when you choose yourself, and if there's cycles that you're going through with family, and I feel like this is what I'm tapping into. And it's two different storylines here. If you choose yourself, you're telling them that this is not a good cycle. I love you, but I'm not doing this with you, which is still love. It is. It's love. They may make you feel guilty because you are choosing yourself. So they're going to then turn it around like you're being selfish, and you're not being selfish. What you're doing is showing them love and teaching them what love is by choosing to keep your cup filled and by choosing what's best for you. And when you choose what's best for you, then that goes as an example what's best for them. Like when my youngest son went into the hospital, and he's been in the hospital since November. And I was up there with him, you know, in the beginning, like it was constant back and forth, constant back and forth. And one day I crashed and I ended up sleeping for like a week straight. Of every single day I would sleep 12 hours more. Like I didn't sleep for a week straight, but every day. And it went on for a week where it was 12 hours or more. And the first night that I got 12 hours sleep, in uninterrupted sleep, I woke up feeling guilty about it. Because that was the thing, is that I kept an ear out for him. So, and it was all about him, but I wasn't getting the rest I needed to heal myself, to keep my cup full, and I wasn't doing that. And it, like, having him go in the hospital was devastating. Like the entire first month of him being in the hospital was just completely like on the edge of your seat, first couple months. But it taught me, though, that in the bad, or what appears to be bad, you learn the lessons that you need to learn. Like there's certain things that presents itself. Like I wasn't getting a shower every day. His care and his need was far more important than me getting a shower. I mean, now I get a shower every day. New moon in Aquarius, open up to change, embrace the flow of life. Full moon in Gemini. But I needed to, and it was almost like my youngest son and I needed to step back away from each other, structure ourselves, heal ourselves. Like physically, he went through healing and he's going through healing, but there was a structured environment for him to where they got him back on track, if that makes sense. Not that I was doing anything wrong in his care of him. It was just, I'm not that structured mom. Like, you got to get up at this time. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. And with him, because he's physically disabled, the problem was with saying no with me. So that was also another lesson I learned. So for him to be in the hospital, both of us, like he's getting the care he needs. And at the same time, I'm relearning how to do this, if that makes sense. So and it goes along with spirituality. When you go through this healing process, you're in a spiritual hospital and you have to face, okay, I do things this way. It's not so good. And it really hasn't turned out well in the past. So let's do it a different way. Because, and I mean, I've learned a lot by watching how they care for Casey in the hospital, because it's one of those things of, they have big teams of doctors at the table and you have to anticipate what's going to go wrong. And it's always this discussion of what's going to go wrong. Let's anticipate that. And I feel like the Virgo energy of this full moon is like that, where it's, let's anticipate any problems we have and let's work them out first. And if we anticipate them, then we're going to be prepared for them when we hit that roadblock, or where something's going to come at us. Let's sidestep it. Let's do this. Let's go this way. Let's go that way. And it's a bobbing and weaving type of energy of, I'm learning, I'm paying attention, I'm self-aware, and I'm going to put the corrections in place. And you grow, allow yourself to grow. Even if you feel like everyone else's world is coming crashing down, as a mom, this is the thing too, that you have to allow your growth to continue. Because if your kids go through a hard time to where it's like they feel like the world's crashing down around them, that's a growth period for them too. You have to let them go through it. You have to let them grow through it. You have to let them come back to themselves. You have to, and it's not a releasing them to where you release hold over them, or you're not expecting them to be back, if that makes sense, and you're releasing them and they just go and kick them out of the nest. That's not what that is. But I learned that with my youngest, Casey, I have no control over what happens with him physically. Like I can't prevent what's his physical disabilities and what's going on with him. Like, it's not like one of those things of, oh, that's going to happen 2 months from now. So let's go in there and let's do this and let's prevent it. Like there are certain things that your eyesight isn't open for. So if this is one of those energies of, because I feel like that's a past energy that's kind of lingering but passing, whoever this is for. And I feel like there's a couple storylines here, but that one energy is you can't protect them from everything. You can't protect yourself from everything. You can't hold on to them. Like you can't keep them. Like you can't hold tightly. Sometimes when you hold tightly and you white knuckle it, they're trying to break free anyway. Like it's that type of thing. And so if you're anticipating problems and situations and you're thinking, oh my God, and you're thinking the worst, take this into account. The fact that you're thinking through this way is that you're problem solving is what this is. It's problem solving. It's anticipating. It's like, let's get the minute details out there. Finite details. Minute details. Yes. I combine both words. But the smallest details, let's work on that. Let's anticipate problems. Instead of worrying about the sky's going to fall if I take care of myself. Sky's going to fall if I choose me. Everything's going to come crashing down if I take a shower. Like it's that type of energy here. That was like this lingering past energy. But I feel like with this full moon, it's a clarity around it where the sky's not going to fall if you take a shower. Like people aren't going to fall apart if you choose you. They're not going to look at you like you're being selfish because you're actually choosing them. You're choosing to love them the way that they deserve to be loved because you're choosing to love yourself the way you deserve to be loved. So that being said, is that it for the moment? Okay. So Moonology Manifestations deck. Last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. Right. Don't worry so much. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. Now, that's the thing too. Label them when it comes up. When something comes up, say, okay, that's fear. What's the enemy of fear? Is love. That's worry. What's the enemy of worry? Hope. I keep getting that too. Hope, faith, and charity, and the greatest of these is love. Hope, faith, and charity, and the greatest of these is love. It's amazing. But you have to look at the good aspects here instead of believing that if you make a decision, everything's going to fall apart. Or if you if you follow your heart, you go after where you're being led to go, that everything's going to fall to pieces and the towers are going to come down everywhere that you've built. Now listen, the only reason towers come down is because they were built on faulty foundation. They were built on faulty foundation, they have to fall anyway. Last one, full moon in Pisces, forgive. I feel like this is the energy of forgiving yourself. It is. Because if someone makes you feel guilty because you've chosen yourself in the past, they were manipulating you. They were being manipulative. They were using your self-care, your self-love against you. And that's crazy. Why? Don't listen to that energy. Look at it and label it and say they only feel that way because it's from a selfishness. If they're pointing at you and calling you selfish because you're choosing your path, you're choosing self-love, self-care, choosing what your heart desires, then that means they're being selfish because they're expecting you to choose them. If you love someone, you always will sit down and say, what do you want? Where's your heart leading you to? I've never channeled, well, I rarely channel songs, but I understand that song now. Song called Dreams from Fleetwood Mac, and there's a line in it, the opening line. Here you go again saying you want your freedom. Well, who am I to keep you down? Where you have to play the way you feel it. Listen carefully to the sound of a lonely heartbeat drags you back. But that's the thing, is that if you love someone, you really love someone, love isn't possession. Love isn't locking you in a cage. Love isn't, you have to do this in order to receive my love in return. No. Love is nothing to do with that. And I feel like this is very manipulative energy here. And it's like you're holding this guilt that they put on you. And I feel like what you need to forgive and release is that. Forgive yourself. I don't feel like you did anything wrong. Forgive yourself, but sit down and say, this is what I actually did wrong. I'm not taking responsibility for something I didn't do. And that's also choosing yourself. So when you take responsibility for what you actually did, that's where healing comes to. You're dealing with your shadows. But I feel like this is just somebody making you feel guilty because they want to keep you trapped in this energy of, you can't do this without me. You'll have nothing without me. You don't know me. I'm keeping you here. I'm keeping you sane, and I'm keeping you squared. That's crazy. Just, oh God. Yeah, like you wouldn't have anything without me. You wouldn't have money without me. You wouldn't have a car without me. You wouldn't have a job without me. You wouldn't have finances. Family wouldn't even talk to you without my input to it, my having to go to them and tell them everything's good with you. You know, it's crazy. That's not love. That's not. That's not. That's someone with very narcissistic tendencies. Like, it's all about me. Everything you have is all for me. No. You have to release this. Forgive them, but forgive yourself. Sit down and, like I said, label the feeling when it comes up. At the same time, when you label the feeling that comes up, label it, put it aside. Okay, that's fear. That goes there. This is just mad. That goes over there. I'm just mad. And I said that out of anger. This is doubt. This is, and then when you start getting to the voice of this person that's very manipulative and controlling and possessive, when you get to that voice and you start listening to what they've said, label that too and put it in its own little corner. They say this because of this. This is something else they said, put it there. This is something else they've said, put it there. Instead of sitting down going, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. No, they're not right. And they know they're not right. That's the reason they're playing these games, because, oh God, if someone feels like they're losing you, they're going to say whatever they want to, especially if they're wanting to possess you. That's not love. That's not love. I mean, my late husband was cheating on me years ago. I sat him down at the table and went, is that where you want to be? Because you're happier with them. I'm not holding you here. Door's there. Because it's not even telling that person, if you're in a connection with someone, they know where you're happy. They know where your happy is. I mean, it's obvious. And it's not like they can hide you away. Like I feel like this is one of those things of, I'll tell you what I need to tell you to keep you locked in. Then when you wake up one day and you figure out that you're not in a cage and that you can leave, that the cage was invisible, that's where they've lost their power. So let's go to the tarot. You're going to have to work through this though, because I feel like work through it, because if you don't, where you're going to carry it with you. And if you carry it with you, it's going to burn you down and it'll slow you down. I feel like, and a lot of this has happened in the past several years, that karmic partners, and that's been what many tarot readers, many people along spiritual path has picked up the storyline, that karmic partners were holding the person, like putting them on pause. And the person that was on pause, who they really were supposed to be with, like there was this diversion energy of the karmic wanting to hold tight to them, white knuckling it. I keep getting like that white knuckling thing. When these two wanted to be together, and then you have this karmic partner. And that's a question too. Every contract you have, every soul contract, there's a question, at least one question, something that needs to be done between the two of you, or something that needs to be cleaned up too, that's on the list. I feel like with many of these situations, family, friends, work, career, all of it, I feel like a lot of that, the contracts had been fulfilled years ago. But the person holding the contract on the other side of it didn't want to let this good thing go. Like it's one of those things. So one more shuffle and let's get into the tarot. I didn't intend to make this video so long again. Magician. Let's move these around here. There we go. Get some room. Magician. 3 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and World. 5 off the bottom. 7 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 6 of Cups, 3 of Swords, 7 of Pentacles. Now listen, this I feel like is what's being cleared out, or what's trying to be cleared out, because there's baggage here that needs to be cleared out. If you want to move fast, like fast movement energy toward where you are supposed to be, I feel like this whole thing was diversion. Like you went off the path and you went this direction and you weren't supposed to have gone there. And it was in an effort to heal someone. Now, the several storylines I've picked up, all of them was in an effort to heal someone. But that's the thing. They have to heal themselves. You can't heal them. What's the old saying? When I was growing up, they used to say it all the time. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can show them what needs to be healed. It's up to them to heal it. And the way it's healed is that it's brought to the attention, and the other person, it's like an epiphany moment. Oh, is that what I do? Oh, wow, I do that. Why do I do it? This is why you do it. And then there's a discussion around it. I feel like this is baggage. This is baggage that hasn't been looked at. It hasn't been looked at, it needs to be healed, it needs to be set aside because there's this need here to plant new seeds. In order to, like, we're coming up on spring, okay? Spring is right around the corner. This is planting time. In order to plant a field, in order to plant new crops, you have to clear the field out. The biggest thing that you have to clear out in the field is the rocks, debris, taking care of like the underbrush, clear out all of that. What they used to do, ancient times, I think it was ancient times, biblical times, what they would do is when they would clear out a field of the rocks and boulders, they would then build a wall around the property. Like they would use that to build a wall. So what you're doing is you're removing the blocks, but you're putting them elsewhere. And when you put them elsewhere, it's protective around you. This is what I'm building. This is what I'm planting. And in order to plant this, I need to protect it. And the wall served to protect it from predators, to protect it from others that would, be under the assumption of it's anyone's field, that type of thing. So it closed off the field, but it didn't do it in a way to where it was possession and really taking control of the field. It was to, what is that word? Partition it off. It's that type of thing. Because you're manifesting, really working together, teamwork, getting this taken care of, wanting to juggle family, wanting to get where, you feel like you would receive the most, and really wanting to choose yourself. At the same time, working together with them, you're in your head, because I feel like there's this guilt there. Like you walk into the situation under the intent of healing someone. What ends up happening is they take advantage of your spirituality. They take advantage of your energy. They take advantage of you being there. Oh, they're here. Now I can throw everything at them. But the Queen of Pentacles is divine feminine energy of receiving the pentacle, receiving tangibility. This is structure. This is love. This is affection. This is healing. It's also finances, but it's future wealth. And it's one of those things to where it can keep, like it's a process of keep receiving, and it's a flow that needs to come in. And when that comes in, it's going to be a completely different world for you. And that's where your heart is pulling you to do. And I feel like this, and it's a family structure. And like I said, it could be work that's keeping you locked down to this, keeping you in your head. Like I can't get here because I'm still dealing with this. And the bottom here is about clearing out the blocks. Seven of Wands is clearing out obstacles. And it could be, the wands are words. This is setting boundaries. This is telling someone, I'm not doing this with you anymore. I'm not doing this. I'm not playing this game with you. I'm not going round and round about this. Five of Swords is deceit, because their intention on keeping you there is to keep you locked in. It's not that they don't want to give you anything, but what they're wanting to, and I'm just going to take that back. It is because they don't want to give you anything. They want to take, what is that old saying? Even an old saying, givers need boundaries because takers have none. And so you have a 5 here. This is like stagnant. This is cycles repeating itself, but this is the thing. 5 of Cups is nostalgic energy, and it's about repeating what's happened in the past, repeating what's happened in the past. That's the shadow side to the card. Light side to 5 of Cups is going back into your past to ask questions. Now, 6 of Cups, you take a step forward from 5 of Cups into the 6, and it's going through an emotional change. Cups are emotions, spirituality. But it's going through that change of learning from your past and growing. You know they're playing this game with you. And it's funny too, because I feel like you've spent too much time here amazed by the game. Because you know it's a game. You know it's a game. Empaths can pick up when somebody's lying to them. The difference, like different empaths will call you out on your lie. You're lying. I don't want to hear it. Other empaths will do it where it's like, okay, this is the truth. That's not the truth. Now, though, when I get lied to, I get fascinated by the lie. I do, because it's usually something small. And I usually do one of those things of, wow, they couldn't lie about something big. Why is that? Why did it have to be something small that they lie about? Then I get fascinated, and then I get like distracted by how small the lie was. This is, they're deceiving you, but you know it. Like there's an energy here of they're acting this way, but they're coming across like I'm the best thing that's happened to them. And like I said, this could be work. You're irreplaceable. Everyone's replaceable. Don't even. Especially in a job, everyone's replaceable. Like, don't even believe that. That is, and it's a narcissistic, manipulative tendency from businesses to keep their employees stagnant in this place of we have to make money and build up, but they're not going to benefit from it. It's that type of, but you're different. This is growth. You're not caught in the past. You're different now. I feel like though the Three of Swords here, like this is blockages that needs to be removed. That's why you start out with Seven of Wands. This is setting boundaries, and this is removing this. This is removing the blockages that need to be removed in order to plant the new seeds in your life. Three of Swords here is a heartbreak. There's a scene in Twilight, getting the scene. I love the scene. Second movie, when Edward leaves Bella to protect her from his life. There's a song playing in the background, loves the song. And he takes her, like they go off to the woods so he can tell her that he was leaving. And there's a song that's playing that says, he's lying, don't let him lie to you. Don't let him lie to you. And there's like this haunting little melody that's playing in the background. I feel like the heartbreak is coming because you know they're lying. You know they're coming up with the storyline and they're trying to manipulate you, try to keep you stuck. But see, that's the thing too. When people talk about manifesting, oftentimes they talk about manifesting good stuff, and they only manifest good stuff. No one talks about the fact that we manifest lessons for ourselves so we could close out cycles. We manifest a return to nonsense so that it doesn't end up being continual nonsense. We manifest these lessons so they can be taken care of, so they can end, we could grow, the other people in it could grow, and they can become better than what they were. Because it's not just you that this is affecting, it's everyone else around that's manipulating you. How are they going to know that they're manipulating you? Because some people do it subconsciously. They do it because it's a cycle they're in. Others specifically know that that's what they're doing. Some know it's like a survival thing, survival tendency. I want them here, therefore I'm just going to act this way, and they stay. That's a subconscious thing. That's not being aware of it. So the breaking the heart here, breaking your heart because they're acting this way. You manifested this so they can be taken care of once and for all. There are lessons for them to learn as well as for you to learn. You have to release this. Like you have to complete the cycle. The full moon, the moon is divine feminine energy. Sun is divine masculine. The moon is at its fullest when it's at her furthest away from the sun. He creates space for her so that she can do the work that she needs to do, so that she can, they can be in union with one another, but be close enough to him to where he can draw her back. The moon, without that energetic pull back to the divine masculine, will continue to give out everything she doesn't have until she breaks herself. Then when she breaks herself, there's nothing else to fill up anymore. But divine feminines that are healers and that do this and are like empathic healers and mothers and the very in tune with their divine feminine energy have to learn to listen to and keep in tune to the divine masculine pulling them back energetically. And the divine masculine is within us too. And we have to find that balance. Divine masculine is what we are given to ourselves. This is where you want to go. You have to stop this then. This has to be released. Don't let it get in your head and break your heart because they're acting this way. They've done this, like it cycles with them. It's only going to stop when you stop it. That's it. If you want to plant that field in the back, like you want to plant the field, springtime's here, it's time for planting. You're going to have to remove all of this in order to get here, to plant something new. And I feel like that's what's coming. It's something new, this new crop. This is newness for your life. This is new hope, new faith, new joy that's coming in. The world is walking away from a storm that's always been there, and open up your door and the sun is shining. In order to get there, you have to remove this. And I feel like that's a purging of old cycles, old family cycles, old work cycles. Just, it could be connections of like friends that call you up and demand something from you. I need attention. Give it to me now. No, you don't need attention this very second. I was in the middle of something. Don't answer the phone. Like it's that ending that cycle. But these blockages here, let them go because you have to get here. This is what's coming in for you. This is blocking it. So for the collective sign of Aquarius, this is your full moon and Virgo read. Love and light.